With Week 16 in the books, the Jets have captured their second win of the season, beating the Cleveland Browns. Here are my top 5 takeaways. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, I'll be live tomorrow night, Monday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock for my live call-in show, and then Tuesday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock for our Talkin' Jets panel with me, Green Bean, and O'Leary. So make sure you check out all of that for all your Jets content and questions and, all that good stuff. Also, I will be live streaming the Clemson-Ohio State game on January 1st with Green Bean and O'Leary. So if you want to check out Trevor Lawrence against Justin Fields and sort of figure out who could potentially be, quarterback 2, with Justin Fields, that is, and, drowned our sorrows in the whole Trevor Lawrence thing, make sure you check that out because we're going to be discussing that whole game and really diving deep into the whole Fields discussion. So let's talk about today's game. The Jets win against the Cleveland Browns 23-16. Now, this is the first time the Sam Darnold-led Jets have beaten the Browns with Baker Mayfield. We've lost the previous 2 seasons. And with this win and the Jaguars' loss today, the Jets have officially locked up the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft. But what's a little bit worse, and something it sort of sucks, is because the Texans are playing the Titans this upcoming week, and the Dolphins traded for the Texans pick with the Laramie Tunsil trade. If the Texans lose to the Titans, which probably seems likely, the Miami Dolphins will have the 3rd overall pick, picking just behind us. So not the best in terms of draft pick stuff for today, but what are you going to do? Earlier today, we were talking about Adam Gase potentially being fired after a Browns loss, and now that we have a win, most people are going to assume that he is probably staying. I kind of figured he would stay at least through the end of the Patriot game and, just have it be done like that. We do have the opportunity to start interviewing coaches if he is fired starting tomorrow, so that's a new rule change that we haven't seen in the past. But I expect him to be fired after the Week 17 game against the Patriots. And speaking about the Week 17 game against the Patriots, I'm actually relieved. I'm kind of excited at this point. I'm over the whole Trevor Lawrence thing. It sucks, but at the same time, because everything happened the way it happened and ended the way it did today, we can actually go into Week 17 rooting for the Jets to beat the Patriots. I hate rooting for the Jets to lose. It has been killing me since Week 5 of the season. I've been rooting for this thing. So I'm very happy that I get to root for the Jets to win against the Patriots. I think it's going to happen. I don't think the Patriots are very good. And the Jets are just kind of surprising some people right now. So, I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. So let's dissect a little bit about this game. The Jets wind up beating the Browns. And let's sort of address the elephant in the room here, for lack of a better term. The Browns found out yesterday, and I found out yesterday, that they were going to be without their top 4 wide receivers. Guess who had Jarvis Landry in his flex spot for his fantasy football team? This guy did. So if I lose because of this whole COVID situation, not to mention I picked up the Browns defense going against our Jets in the championship round. So if I lose because our Jets won, it's just like a little extra salt and a little jab of a fork in my gut. Whatever. Okay, so the whole COVID situation, the Browns were without their top 4 wide receivers, and it showed today. It was brutal for the Browns from a passing perspective. I don't know how many passes they actually had to wide receivers, but they utilized their running backs in the pass game and their tight ends heavily today. And you know what? The Jets actually did a halfway decent job. I mean, now you would expect that when you're talking about guys who have never caught a pass from Baker Mayfield. Literally none of these guys have ever caught a legitimate pass from Baker. They ran their walkthrough in the basement or in the parking garage of a hotel before the game. So this is just I don't know. It's just a goofy thing that we're dealing with this season. I don't know. Hopefully we don't have to deal with it too much, further going into next year. Aside from the wide receiver thing, you got the Arthur Millette. Arthur Millette had himself a pretty nice game. He wound up finishing with 5 tackles and 3 passes defensed, and he's going to be an interesting option at safety for us. I don't know. I believe he's a free agent at the end of this year. Could be an option for us to retain. So who knows? Maybe we decide to keep one of our own and kind of figure it out from there. At number 4, I have the defensive line, and we played pretty well. We knew they were going to have to run the ball, and we shut them down. So between Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they had 45 yards on 18 carries. So math, was that under 3 yards carry? Quick math? Pretty solid, pretty rock solid there. Now, that being said, we could sell out against the run because they didn't really have the playmakers on the outside to make the difference. But our three main guys on the defensive line, Foley Fatukasi, Nathan Shepard, and John Franklin Myers, played absolutely out of their minds. They were getting pressure on Baker Mayfield almost the entire day. I'm really excited to see these guys play next year, along with Quinnen Williams coming back. He is on the IR, so he's obviously done for the rest of this season. So when we get those guys back, maybe we get some edge rushers this offseason and finally start getting some pressure on the quarterback, which will help out the secondary. It all kind of comes together here. So looking forward to that. Lots of good on the defensive line for this New York Jets team. At number 3, I want to talk about Mekhi Becton. I thought he had a pretty rough game. He did give up his 7th sack of the season. He did have another pressure on top of that. And he just kind of got beat up by Myles Garrett. They did try to have some guys off on the side, trying to chip him and give him a little bit of help. But it seems like Mekhi Becton, at least right now, is having a little bit of trouble with some of the faster edge rushers in this league. And hey, look at DeBrickashaw Ferguson. He had, a little bit of a rough go around the first season he was in the NFL, and he turned out to be an absolute stud for us. So I think I'm not worried about Mekhi Becton. I think he's definitely going to grow more. I think he's going to learn how to slide his feet a little bit better, kind of take advantage of that long wingspan to stop those speed rushers. But I'm looking forward to his growth. I just think he had not the best game today. At number 2, we have the wide receivers, specifically Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder finished the day with 7 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown to go along with his 43-yard touchdown pass to Braxton Berrios. So really cool. I guess I liked what I saw out of that. I don't really love the whole trick play kind of thing. That doesn't, speak to me as a good offensive play. It's fun when you're trying to win a game and you just need that touchdown, but when you're trying to evaluate your quarterback and see if he's the guy for the future, I don't really love seeing that sort of stuff. But, Jamison Crowder had a really, really nice day. On the other side of that coin, we're talking about Denzel Mims and Brashad Perriman. They had a total of 8 targets with 0 catches between the two of them. And I just don't understand how we can't get either one of these guys the ball. The one ball to Perriman that was a deep bomb, I thought Sam really put it pretty close to on the money, and I thought Perriman could have lunged forward or dove to really make an attempt to catch that ball, and I think he kind of alligator armed it, so I was a little frustrated there. I would like to see these guys get more involved, and having the opportunities is part of it, and I don't know why they just couldn't really get the whole offense clicking together with them, but it's so frustrating. I just want Adam Gase gone. I just want to see these guys in a fresh offense. Okay. At number 1, let's talk about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold finished today 16 of 32, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He did truck stick the shit out of a linebacker, which made me feel good, at least, a little bit. But then I'm looking at Sam's numbers, and this was considered one of his better games. 175 yards. Oh, God. It just kind of crushes me. I like Sam a lot. And I want to feel like I want to give him a chance for next year. And, there's a part of me that really does want to. I'm so torn on what we're going to do this offseason. But Sam, playing the way he has played and making some of the throws he's made, he had a lot of plays that could have been interceptions. And it doesn't seem like the decision-making is getting any better. I'm concerned about where this sort of leaves the Jets. I would have thought after 3 years of watching Sam play, I could have a definitive answer on whether he is our quarterback of the future or if he is not. At the beginning of the year, I was very much in the Trevor Lawrence or bust bandwagon. I would not take a quarterback unless it was Trevor Lawrence, and then go figure 5-6 weeks into the season, we're oh, geez, this could actually be a shot. So I was all about building around Sam. And I think there's probably a strong argument that that is the best way to go about turning this franchise around in terms of a speed process, I guess. If you have to start a new quarterback now, you're losing that second overall pick to draft a quarterback, and you're not using as many assets to build up the team around him. So I can kind of see that. That's a little frustrating, I guess. I don't know. It's the whole Sam Darnold thing is just so confusing to me because it feels like a lot of guys around the NFL love Sam Darnold, but then I look at it and he's just not passing the eye test. I'm really, really hoping that it's just an Adam Gase thing, and that Sam can turn into like a Ryan Tannehill for us next year. So I don't know. Those are my 5 takeaways. Like I said, guys, check out the Talking Jets panel on Tuesday, the Monday call-in show tomorrow, and if you want to hang out with us while we watch the Clemson and Ohio State game, that's going to be on January 1st, so make sure you tune in for that. But guys, let me know what you think of of my top 5 takeaways. What are your top 5 takeaways from the game? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, go Jets.